For those of you that want a parapa supermoto like this and have fun like Cycle Cruiser, well, you're going to want to stay tuned and watch this video because I'm going to tell you everything you need to know.
Let's go for a ride. Subscribe today.
If you want to get my gear like this ultra lightweight carbon fiber helmet, motovlog camera, airbag vest to help keep you safe, all of my gear, I always include links in the description and comment section.
Now, I know what you're thinking, Cycle Cruiser, why should I do a Supermoto build when I could just buy a ready-made Supermoto such as a Suzuki DRZ 400 SM, a Husky 701 Supermoto, or a KTM 690 SMCR, or heck, even a Kawasaki KLX 300. Well, those bikes are all heavier than this bike. This bike only weighs 265 pounds wet with a full tank of gas. Those bikes such as the 690 and 701, they weigh 85 pounds heavier than this bike. They have the emissions compliant components on there that robs the power of the bike. You have to remove that if you want to get the full power. As a lot of you know, I owned a KTM 690 SMCR, did a full build series on it with all the performance parts you can do on it. And honestly, I still love my 450 way better. That's why I sold this 690. The 690 felt like a big old Mack truck off-road compared to the 450. And the 450 just feels more violent, more visceral. The 690 is fun, don't get me wrong. Just the 450 hits different and better. As where this bike here is pure race bike. Also, those bikes do have a lot less maintenance intervals. You can go up to 5,000 miles on those street legal, ready-made Supermotos. And this one requires like oil changes at least every 10 to 15 hours, which is like every third ride for me. And you're supposed to change the piston on this every 12 and a half hours, which means do a top-end rebuild. But I've never done a piston change on here. I've never even checked the valves, and this bike rides better than new, guys. It's amazing. But this bike is not supposed to be a main motorcycle, okay? This is not a bike you want to commute to work on. This is just your second or third bike you take out on occasion and be a hooligan, have fun, mix it up. And, so you have to keep that in mind. But trust me, if you do a Supermoto build, you take a race dirt bike like this, turn it into Supermoto, you're going to have the most visceral, awesome, soul-stirring experience that you could ever experience on these current motorcycles, okay? The street legal motorcycles are so smooth now, and they're so docile and everything. It takes the fun out of it almost. This is going to give you that soul-stirring, amazing fun. You will be a hooligan, because before I got this bike, I wasn't much of a hooligan. When I got this bike, I turned into a crazy hooligan, guys. You'll have so much fun, trust me. Now, some of you may be asking, Cycle Cruiser, why did you go with a YZ450FX instead of the WR450F that comes with the headlight? Well, that bike has the emissions crap on it too. Also, the WR suspension is really soft, which sucks for the street. The YZ suspension is firm, which is perfect for the street. You don't have to do anything. And the reason why I went with the Yamaha YZ450FX instead of the F version, the motocross version, is because this one has a 5-speed wide ratio gearbox, which is better for the street, as where the F version, the motocross version, has a close ratio gearbox like a lot of other dirt bikes that's great for the dirt track because that's what they're made for, right? So, and also this bike has the kickstand, of course, here, which is good for the street, as it has the center fuel tank here that's centered. This is the only dirt bike, I think, besides the YZ450F and the WR450F that has the center fuel tank. All the other manufacturers, they had their tanks up here. Telling you, man, the handling is improved. All the weight is down lower, so this bike feels less weight than its 265 pounds. And also, this bike has rubber dampeners in the bars, so you get no vibration in the bars whatsoever. Very minimal at the pegs, but it's the good kind, where you get that visceral, raw, wild, untamed power and fun. I tell you, I've had some of the fastest bikes, like an Aprilia Tuono V4 1100 factory, CBR 1000 RR, and a 600 RR. I don't miss the power, guys, but when you have the torque monster power on this thing, oh my gosh. I'm telling you, it's amazing, man. Okay, now let's get into the build components. So if you want to build a Supermoto like this, is first off, you're going to need Supermoto wheels. There's two kinds of Supermoto wheels, spoked or cast. Spoked is best, and I highly recommend it because it can take a lot of abuse. If you do ride up staircases, you do jumps off of platforms, if you ride in the woods over logs and stuff like that, it can take that abuse. As where a cast rim, which is much heavier too, by the way, it can get a crack in the rim, and then the rim can eventually break off and set you up for a real effed up day, so it's not really safe. I would highly recommend you stick with spoked. And these are Warp 9 Racing Supermoto wheels, and they have been awesome. I've had no problems. They come as a kit, so you'll get the 320 millimeter brake disc rotor here. It comes with the adapter kit, so you can use your front brake there. And I did a video on how to install this stuff, by the way. I'll include a link top portion of this video. Also comes with a rear sprocket. I went with the 44 teeth. You can choose your size that you want. I highly recommend 44 teeth. The counter sprocket, this is a stock counter sprocket at 13 teeth. And I went with a Renthal chain here that is exactly 112 links, and they use a clip style here, and it's been awesome, no problems. And these wheels come with a cush drive. What you want, use a cush drive. These are the rubber dampeners in there that help reduce stress on the drive components and make for a smoother ride. What's great about Warp 9 Racing wheels is that you can get them tubeless now. Unlike when I first got them, I had to make them tubeless, which I did a DIY video. I'll include a link in this video up in the right corner there if you want to see that video on how to do it. And it's been amazing. I've had no problems. They hold air better than any street bike I ever had. So now that you got the wheels, Supermoto wheels, that's what makes a Supermoto. Now, if you want to make it street legal, okay, here in Ohio, it's very easy, okay? You just have to make sure you put on all the street legal stuff, like, you know, tail light, turn signals, horn, which is right there, headlight, and a mirror. And you go to the title office in Ohio, and you tell them that you want to convert your dirt bike that you convert it into a dual sport. They'll give you an affidavit paper that you'll check off that you completed all the street legal stuff on the bike, and you sign it, and that's it. They turn your dirt bike off-road title into a street motorcycle title, which is awesome. So I actually can sell this to you in those states that don't allow dirt bikes. So when I ever sell this, one of you guys will be very lucky to get this bike, so you don't have to do anything. You can just take it to your office and get new plates. So what I did is I used the Tusk Dual Sport lighting kit, and it comes with this fender here with the tail light. It has a modulated brake light. It comes with the turn signals, which look really cool on there. And I use this Kriega tail pack, by the way, I have a link to as well, that hides the ugly bolts that hold that. That's why I got the tail pack, but also it adds storage here too, so I can put my emergency items if I ever get stranded. And it comes with the switch here for the light on, off, turn signals, the horn. I put the horn there. And I did a video on how to install that dual sport lighting kit. I'll include a link up here in the top corner, and I have a link to the lighting kit too, like I said, in the description and comment section of this video, along with all the other components. The headlight, I went with a Baja Design Sport Squadron headlight. It's 26 watts, 3150 lumens. It lights up the road great at night. The only problem is, and the drawback to this bike, is that the alternator of the stator does not support the headlight. I learned out the hard way when I first got the bike. I had the light on like you do with other motorcycles, and it drained my battery. And luckily though, I had my anti-gravity, which I have a link to this as well. This is the Restart lithium battery, so if your bike ever dies, it holds enough power in it so that if you press this button here, it gives you enough power to start the bike. It's even better than a Kickstarter. Kickstarter, you'd be kicking forever to get it started, but that you click the button on, push the button on there, you have to take the seat off, press that button on there, starts the bike up, and it worked perfect for me. So I tested it, it's perfect.
Hey, that battery, man, that's a lifesaver.
So in order to remedy that situation, which the WR450F version of this bike here, it has a stator that supports a headlight because it comes with a headlight. So what I need to do, which I have yet to do, I got the parts, is upgrade to the bigger stator rotor, which is right here. I have a part number there, and you got to get this gasket here, and you got to get this gasket maker sealant stuff here by Permatex, and a flywheel puller. And I'm going to install the bigger rotor on there, and it should support this headlight. I'm going to do an install video for you and a testing it out and see if it works. I hope it does. It's supposed to. We'll see. Stay tuned for a future video on that. But meanwhile, I just turn it on at night. I don't even ride at night anymore. But technically, in some states, it can be illegal if a motorcycle doesn't have the headlight on all the time, a daytime running light. I don't know about Ohio or not, but I do need to get that done so I can run the headlight, because it's good for safety too. But this headlight is awesome. I have a link to it. Also, for your Supermoto build, is you're going to want to put a speedometer on there, and I made a custom bracket here. And I have the Trail Tech speedometer here, and works great. Gives you the temperature of the bike. It gives a voltmeter on there, which is great. And speed, it keeps track of hours, but you don't have to keep track of hours with that speedometer on there, because the bike, the app on the phone, the Yamaha Power Tuner app, will keep track of the exact amount of hours the bike has and give you reminders on when the maintenance is due. And also, as you can tune the performance, the power of the bike, which is awesome. and also, you can load another map on here. This map holds 2 switches, which I never change. It has, the first switch is balls to the wall power, full power, and the second map is that it dumbs down the power so that if you go in the woods, you don't need a full 450 power. So like this bike really kind of like has a 250 and a 450, which is awesome. And also on that custom app, you can actually make a map on your custom and send it to your friend, or your friend can send it to you for you to put on your bike. And this is the only, Yamaha dirt bikes are the only ones you can do that with. So that's another reason why to get a YZ450FX. Also, I meant to mention, when you do the Supermoto wheels, is you're going to have to shave the front fork guards here to accommodate the wheel. As you can see here, if you don't, it'll rub up against. So just take a Dremel and you shade the sides here on there so the wheel will flow through. And also, I put the speed sensor right here on the fork guard, and I did that in the video. You'll see how I did that for the speedometer. And what's cool about this YZ is it has a low light fuel sensor there too. So when you're low on fuel, just like street bikes, it'll light up. If it overheats, it lights up. The only problem I had with this bike when I first got it is it overheated.
This light came on.
But what I did is I put an engine ice coolant, and I put on a high pressure radiator cap made by Tusk, a 1.6. Have not had one problem with it overheating at all. And that was way back in 2018. I've had this, like I said, this bike since September 2018, and the bike rides better than it did new. And also for the seat, the stock seat is like sitting on wood, okay? So you're gonna wanna upgrade to the Seat Concept seat here. Very comfortable, can ride all day with this. And I upgraded this little pad here, that the gas tank cover there, cap cover. And also, I upgraded, you don't need to do this, but I went ahead and changed to an FMF 4.1, F4.1 RCT titanium exhaust. It saves 1 pound. It's supposed to improve the performance a little bit, but I don't know. I never rode the stock one. And I used the same header here, pipe. I just bought this, just a muffler part, just to save some weight, and it looks cool in the blue. So you don't really technically have to do that. Also, I have the hand guards here, and these are definitely recommend them. It comes with the integrated turn signals here, which looks great. And I have the hand guard mirrors, which you have to add. It doesn't come with this. You have to purchase this separately. But you know, I've dropped the bike a couple of times crapping around here, and as you can see, you know, that prevents the levers from getting banged up. And it protects your hands. You go in the woods, riding between the trees and stuff. That helps protect your hands. Front fender, I went with a YZ85 front fender. Originally, I put an OEM fender and cut it, and it looked like crap. So I went with the brand new YZ85 front fender, and you just have to drill in the proper bolt pattern there so that it'll fit. As you can see, it looks way better with that setup. And honestly, that's about it. There's really nothing else you need to do, man. And like I said, I did how-to videos on how to do everything. And I'm telling you guys, you got to do a Supermoto build, man. You have to. Talk to anybody that has done anybody else has done a Supermoto build. Ask them. They'll tell you how awesome it is. Look on YouTube. I don't even have to say nothing, man. But anyways, leave a comment below, guys. Let me know what you guys think of this bike. You think it looks cool? Would you like to do a Supermoto build? Why? If not, why not?
Hit thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, hit that little bell symbol so you get notified when my new videos are released. But I release new videos every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until next time.